In this video, we're going to send emails to our customer. We have a SMTP account set up with our login information, and we're going to take this email template that we have, and we're going to replace this field with the customer's first name. And then we're going to grab all the customers. We have one right here, but we could have 50 of them if we want. And we're going to loop through those and send an email for each customer. So let's get started. First thing we're going to do is grab that SMTP account and get the login information that we can use for the connection. So we're going to grab that record, email account. We'll select the SMTP account. And we'll put that to a variable called SMTP record. We want to get the properties of that account and put them into variables. First one will be host. Select the record that we're going to be getting it from. And we'll type in host for a new variable. And we'll do that for username and password and port. This one was password. And we'll get username here. Set that to a new username variable. And one more for port. Okay, since this is going to be a rather long script, we're going to grab a sequence and we'll drag these into that sequence. A sequence is basically just a flow that runs each action after the other. And we'll rename that sequence to SMTP record. Okay, we got our SMTP record. And now we'll get our email template. We'll select templates this time. And we'll select that email template. And template record will be the variable. We want to get the template itself, so we need to get the property template. And we'll call it HTML template since it's done in HTML. Let's drag another sequence over. And we'll put those in that sequence. And we'll call this HTML template record. Just helps keep us organized and easier to read. And we'll close that up. Now we'll get all of our records. Right now we have our SMTP record, we have our template record, and we need our customers. So under collection, we're going to get all the customers in that collection. So let's select customer. And we'll set that to a customer collection. Oh, and now we're ready to create our SMTP connection. If you go under email, drag a new SMTP connection over. Click for options. And we'll just match these up to the variables we already created. Host, username, password, port, and we'll say no to the SSL. And we'll put that into a SMTP connection variable. This is what we're going to be sending our emails through. Now the next step would be to loop through each of those customers so we can start setting the email messages, the merging and the field and the names and the email addresses. So we will loop a record collection and we will select customer and click for options so we could select our customer collection variable. Now we need to get the first name, the last name, and the email address of the customer. So drag over some more get property values, select customer, and we'll select the first name. Since we're in a loop, we want to select that current item since that'll be the record. And we'll add a variable called first name. We'll do the same thing for last name and email address. Last name variable. And one more for email. Now there's also another field that we're going to create when adding a recipient to an email. You have the email address, which we have here, but you also have a to name, which we're going to set to the first name plus the last name. So what we need to do is we need to merge those two into a new variable. Under text and under editing, we can combine text values. So we're going to pull one of those over. And we're going to select the first value will be the first name. The second value will be the last name. And we're going to add a space between them. So we'll set that to true. We'll set that to a new variable called full name. Now we have the first name and last name there. And now it's time to take that HTML template and merge our values in with that one specific field. And we can do that by replacing a text value under text editing. Click for options, and the text itself is going to be that HTML template. And if you recall, the field is first name, like that. So for this field, we're going to replace it with the first name of the customer. And we're going to set that to email body because this is the final message, mail merged message that we're going to set to the email body. And now it's time to create the email message itself. Under email message, we want to create a new email message. Set your from email. Your from name and your subject. And we'll set that to email message variable, or it could be customer email message. And we want to add a recipient to that email message. We have our from, now we have to add our to. So add email recipient. The message will be the customer email message. Email will be the email that we got from the customer. And name will be that full name that we've created. And if it adds it successfully, it will return a true. If it doesn't add a recipient, it will return a false. So we could set that to a success variable that we can go back and look at while we're running our script to debug. So now we have to set the message of the email. That's the one we already mail merged. Under HTML message, you want to set HTML message. We have a text one too you could set. For this one, we'll do the HTML. We have the message, the customer email message, and the content will be the email body. This is the final mail merged text we want to use. And the last thing we need to do is go under SMTP and send that email. We'll use that SMTP connection. We want to send that customer email message. And if it's successful, it will return a true. If not, a false. But we can set that to a variable to help us test to see if our script goes wrong. So recap, we get our SMTP record that is housing all of our details for our connection in the database. Then we get our HTML template that we're going to use to mail merge the customer's information, the first name, with that template. We're going to get all of our customers by getting all the records. We're creating a new SMTP connection that will be used to send the email. And then we're going to loop through each customer. We're going to get the first name, the last name, and the email. We're also going to take the first and last name and create a full name and set that to a full name variable. We're going to take the HTML message and replace that first name field with the actual first name of the customer. That's what we do here. Then we're going to create a new email message. And we're going to add a recipient. We're going to set the HTML message with the mail merged text that we've done. And then we're going to send it.